Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr here today for Ellen Hutson, and today I am sharing some So Cute felt ornaments with you using the brand new So Cute Ornament Designer Dies, part of the October 2019 release from Ellen Hutson. In addition, I'm also going to be showcasing the So Cute Snowman, who is also brand new, as well as showing you ideas on how to implement some dies that you might already have in your stash to decorate this ornament-shaped die. Making felt ornaments is one of my favorite things to do. I did die cut the components off camera to save time today. I'm using the Spellbinders Platinum die cutting machine to die cut everything. Now you can see that I am using the So Cute Snowman on the So Cute ornament. It slightly hangs off the bottom edge, and that's okay. I have included the arms for the snowman and the face and eyes, which have already been hot glued in place. Then I am stitching on the snowman using a back stitch. I'm going to tie that off on the back and then trim away any excess hanging off the edge of the So Cute ornament. Look how adorable this is. I absolutely love this little snowman on the ornament. Then I'm going to take my scarf, which I've also die cut from the felt. All of the felt that you see here is Essentials by Ellen felt. This is wool felt. It comes in all the colors that you could ever need. It's absolutely amazing. Plus, they have coordinating DMC floss color packs and individual colors so that it makes stitching a breeze. I love to dress up my felt pieces. You can leave them plain and they make a huge impact, but as in my card making, I always like to say I like to be a little extra. And so I am adorning my scarf with some French knots in pink embroidery floss. I'm using all 6 strands of the embroidery floss to create a French knot. If you don't know how to make a French knot, you basically come up from the back, wrap the thread around the tip of your needle, and then go back through that same hole that you just came up from the back side of your piece. There are lots of stitching tutorials out there for all kinds of specialty stitches. This is probably my favorite, simply because there's lots of things you can do with it. And this is giving me that like nubby texture that scarves have. Not only that, you probably saw me a minute ago take my scissors. I have a pair of scissors specifically for thread, felt, and fabric that I never use on paper because paper dulls your scissors. And I created fringe at the bottom edges of the scarf so it has a little bit of a fringed effect. I am creating these French knots all over the scarf. You could sew on the scarf, even with a sewing machine if you wanted to. You could create some little maybe lines on the scarf depending on how many strands of embroidery floss you want to use. Lots and lots of different ways to customize the scarf if you wish to. You can also leave it plain, which is absolutely fine. Now once I have that done, I'm just going to thread this kind of through the back. I'm not going to worry too much about making it super secure because I am going to hot glue that middle portion of my scarf to my snowman, which should secure, that's a tongue twister, the threads on the back of my piece. And then I'm going to press that down in place on my snowman. Now the scarf has 2 stitching holes at each end. Because those stitching holes are really obvious, I'm going to take my pink embroidery floss and I'm going to just come up through each of those and go down on the sides to secure that to my ornament front. For every ornament, I have cut 2 panels of the ornament shape. I've also cut 2 of the ornament topper. If you are stitching anything on either side of the ornament, I'm only doing the fronts on mine, but you could do both sides if you wanted to. I suggest doing any of that before you attach the 2 sides together. This cute little heart is from the fantastic Home and Hearth designer dies, which have been out for several years but continue to be some of my favorites. In fact, we're going to create a little Nordic village on our next ornament, and those dies are all from the Home and Hearth set. If you have seen a video I did on release day when Ellen Hutson had a blog hop, I also created some snowman shaped ornaments, and I used the hearts on the back sides of these snowmen for a fun little touch. I have hot glued the buttons down the front of the snowman in place as well. If you wanted, you could always choose to sew on little miniature buttons. You could sew on sequins attached with seed beads. You could do all kinds of things. Before I attach the front and the back of the panel, I want to have some falling snow in the background of my snowman ornament, kind of around him on either side. I'm using some pretty pink posh snowflake sequins, and I am coming up from the back through the center of the sequin, placing a seed bead then. This is a marshmallow colored white seed bead. I'm going through that, wrapping around the seed bead, and then going back through the center of the sequin to the back of the ornament panel. The seed bead secures the sequins in place on the ornament shape. This adds a fun, sparkly, decorative touch to the design. This is an ornament that I think anyone would love to receive, especially snowman lovers. I am a huge fan of snowman decorations of any kind, and so this ornament, it was definitely near and dear to my heart. One of the more intricate designs. I kind of think we get simpler as we go through this video instead of starting easy and going difficult, but you can kind of see that I had pre-die cut all of my shapes prior to starting, and I started with the snowman because I was super excited to get this guy put together. Now remember, as I mentioned, if you want this to be two-sided, you would want to go ahead and do the other side first and then sew these two sides together. Because I'm doing two-tone, meaning I've got the ornament out of the Caribbean wool felt, and then we're going to have the top of the ornament out of the dark tinsel. I am not starting at the very top. I don't want to close it because we want to stuff this with polyester fiber fill to make it a dimensional ornament. I go up and down every other stitching opening all the way around. Now it's a little bit tricky where the snowman is on the front, so I'm just going to have to really be careful and make sure I'm lining up. But this is going to secure it together all the way across. So I'm going to go down kind of one side, up the other, but not close off the top of the ornament. So when I get to the end here, I'm going to go ahead and go back the other way because we're leaving the top open. And because we're leaving the top open, that is where we can stuff the ornament. I am showing this step on this ornament, but I won't show this particular step because it is the same for the next two ornaments. Just know that this is exactly how I did the other two ornaments. Up and down every other one, we're securing our ornament shape. I did use a coordinating color of embroidery floss. All of those are linked. I used embroidery floss from the Arctic collection and the Ornament collection. The colors that are included in those are found on the Ellen Hutson website. And so if you want to just, because I didn't use every color in those collections, if you want to pick up just individual colors, you can look and see what embroidery floss colors they have and then just pick up the coordinating color for the colors of felt that you are using. Once I get back to the other side, I'm going to just kind of tie that off, going back and forth then through the sides of my ornament. That generally will secure it good enough. Then I'm going to take tiny little bits of polyester fiber fill, and it is a pretty small opening. I'm going to actually just use a little pin to help push that down to the bottom. And then you can stuff it to whatever thickness you like. I try not to go too terrible thick because I don't want to stretch those stitches too much, but I want it to be kind of pillow-like in texture. I really enjoy the stuffed dimensional felt ornaments rather than flat. So I always add a little polyester fiber fill to my ornaments. Once you get to your desired level of thickness, we are going to be ready to secure the top of our ornament. And we're going to take the front and back of the ornament topper that we die cut from the dark tinsel wool felt. And we're also going to take a length of twine, and I'm using just different Lawn Fawn Lawn Trimmings twine. This is the Silver Sparkle. We're going to sandwich that in the top of the ornament so that we stitch it into the ornament to make our ornament hanger secure. You can use ribbon, any kind of twine or string that you like. I really like these Lawn Trimmings twines that have a little bit of sparkle. This one's got silver. There's one with gold, green, blue, red. So there's all kinds of different ones. I think ribbons would be really pretty as well if you have a thin silk ribbon. And then I'm simply stitching the topper on. So we're only doing the top of that, meaning we're going around. We're starting at one side, going around, and then coming back around. These strings tend to get in the way a little bit, but just work around them because I promise it's worth it because they're sandwiched in there, and then you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to attach strings to your ornament. We're going to leave the strings loose, and we're going to go on to our little Nordic village. These are the Home and Hearth designer dies. I think this was out before Chip and Jo's line at Target. So I just think it's so cute. These have been some of my favorite felt images, favorite die images forever. I love the little village. I love the trees, the little hearts, the stars that come in this. I die cut the houses from pink, red, and blue, aqua, Caribbean felt, and then we've got moss and lime trees, and I'm simply hot gluing them in place. They are teeny tiny. The hot glue is messy. I really need a new hot glue gun with a precision tip. I know. I am still using this hot glue gun I bet you I've had for, 18 years. I bet I've had this sucker forever. So it tends to not be fantastic for teeny tiny shapes, but I made it work. And I am lining these up along that border or trim edge that comes with the So Cute ornament. This was die cut from Winter White. Our actual ornament was die cut from light tinsel, and then it's going to have that dark tinsel ornament topper. Love, love, love this beautiful light gray. Isn't it beautiful? I think it's fantastic. And we are just going to create this cute little Nordic village scene. And then we're going to sew the band onto the ornament and sew the ornament halves together. I'm going to have this little fun trio of hearts coming out the chimney of one of the houses. This is the teeniest, tiniest heart in there. They are super small. I tried not to touch them with my fingers very much just because it tends to fray the felt a tiny bit with these little teeny tiny images. I also found it was easiest to not have this shift if I hot glued my band in place on my ornament. I apologize for my head in the way. I really wanted to make sure I got this lined up, and you can see I totally didn't. I was like, what in the world? So I pulled it off really fast. And that looks so much better. I don't know what was going on there. I'm probably lucky that I ended up not ruining that whole piece and having to start over. Hot glued those hearts in place, and before I stitched the two halves of this ornament together, I decided I needed falling snow all over in the background. So remember on our snowman ornament, I attached this snowflake sequins with seed beads. Well, you don't have to attach a sequin at all. In this example, I am just stitching on seed beads. So I'm coming up from the back, going through the center of a seed bead, and then going back through that same hole. and attaching little seed beads all over. And instead of just at the top, I did do them down at the bottom, because as I did them across the top, I thought it really didn't look as finished as I would have liked. And I like the look of seed beads above and below for that little snowy texture. It looks like snow. It adds texture. It adds a fun little element. It reinforces this Nordic village effect that I'm going for. And I added quite a few of these. When you get a package of seed beads, there are a zillion in them. So it's just a great way to use them and utilize them for an ornament. This Nordic village might be one of my favorite ornaments I've ever made. I think it's just super cute and fun. I do want to mention real quick, if you are not a fan of hot glue, you could always stitch your pieces in place. Just know that that's going to be a tiny bit more time consuming, but you definitely could grab coordinating embroidery floss and stitch these in place instead of hot gluing. You could also use a fabric glue that's safe for use with felt. I don't have the patience to wait for that glue to dry, so I almost always opt for hot glue or stitching my pieces in place, and that's just because I'm not patient at all. So I don't ever use the liquid fabric glue. And here you can really see the difference here with the seed beads at the top and how it really needs something down below to balance it all out. My best tip for adding seed beads, instead of grabbing individual seed beads and then trying to thread it onto your needle, also a beading needle. You will have to use a beading needle for this because you want the eye to be super teeny tiny. I love using these little beading needles like this, but what you want to do is take your needle and go into your package or container like I'm using here of seed beads and just kind of run your needle through there, and it's going to pick up a bead, maybe even multiple beads. You might have to remove some, but it is the quickest way to add a bead to your needle when you're doing a stitching project like this. So much fun. I absolutely love this, you guys. I hope you are loving this. Look at the dies you have in your collection. I literally have so many ideas going through my head, and I cannot wait to make even more ornaments. I haven't decided what ones are going to be my 2019 ornaments yet, but I'm going to give my kids several options. I make them ornaments every year, and I'm really, really excited about all the possibilities with these two new so cute die collections from Ellen Hutson and the Essentials by Ellen collection. Okay, I'm going to stitch this one together, stuff it, add the twine in the top, and then we will come back to these first two ornaments when we finish our third one, which is right now. As I mentioned, I kind of went hardest to easiest. None of these are necessarily hard, maybe just more time consuming. This one features adding or using and utilizing the components that come in the So Cute die collection. That's the ornament, that's the polka dots, that's the band, and then I'm actually incorporating, and I do apologize, I used a die that I think's been discontinued. You can create a similar one by using the Essentials by Ellen Classic Block Alpha Designer dies. Those were die cut from the charcoal wool felt. So we're going to have this beautiful word joy. You could spell out anything as long as it fits, but we're going to just create a customized band across our ornament, but we're going to use this polka dot design. Now this is an example of decorating the front and the back. And I will be real honest, I was not going to do that for this one, but I accidentally did not place the polka dots right where I wanted them to go for the front panel. They were covered up way too much by the band, and instead of scrapping it, I decided to go ahead and just do a two-sided ornament. So I went ahead and left those. I die cut some more of these polka dots from the moss wool felt, And then I'm just going to hot glue those onto the other side of the panel. I'm not going to put the band on both sides, but I am going to have polka dots on both sides. And I actually really like it. This is one of the simpler techniques because we're just hot gluing those in place. Again, you could glue these on with a fabric glue. You could also stitch these on if you wanted to. So you are not limited at all by having to use hot glue if you don't like it because of all the little strings, and it can be kind of messy. I'm still picking off some little hot glue strings from the ornaments, but I don't really mind. I love it. And then we're going to glue the word joy in place. I contemplated doing several different things here, but ultimately I decided to keep it real simple, and I hot glued my letters in place. But I think they would look really cute, and I'm just going to throw out my ideas here. You could stitch them in place, kind of do like a back stitch all the way around the edges of the letters in a contrasting color of embroidery floss, like red. I thought that would be pretty. You could also decorate the letters kind of down the center of each letter with sequins sewn on with seed beads. I thought sparkle clear sequins with sparkle clear seed beads would make a really pretty sparkly sentiment on the ornament as well. So just a couple of different ideas if you want to dress yours up and make it a little bit more sparkly. Then I'm going to line up this panel. I did not hot glue this one, and I really wish I would have done this next. I wish I would have sewn on the holly, the little leaves, pardon me, and then the sequins with the seed beads for the holly and berries before I put this panel on, but I didn't. So I stitched around it, hot glued the leaves in place. Those are from the So Cute Snowman set. And then I'm just kind of coming up from behind and sewing on red sequins with crystal clear, these sparkly crystal clear seed beads so that the red really shines. And that's very, very simple, very easy to do. And then I did put a little dab of hot glue underneath the band when I was done to secure this middle band to my ornament so I didn't have to worry about it coming loose. The next step after I get my ornament band in place is something I like to do because I use my felt ornaments that I make as package tags. So it's kind of like two gifts in one. I tie it on to my gift packages, and then the recipient can remove the paper tag that I add to it. So we're going to be making the paper tags. They can remove that, and they're left with an ornament that they can put on their Christmas tree for the rest of the season or that next year. I love the idea of something that is useful, a package tag, that also has life beyond being a gift package tag. So it's an actual gift as well. Here are my three ornaments. The tag I'm using is the Lawn Fawn Say What gift tag die. It's my favorite. The size is just so perfect. And I die cut this from Hero Hue's Pebble cardstock. It's a nice light gray that I think complements the light tinsel wool felt color nicely. And then I'm making three different tags. A lot of times I will just make multiples. I will line them up in my MISTI and do that. But for this one, I really felt like I wanted to customize a tag for each specific ornament. So the first one features a snowman and sentiment from the Essentials by Ellen Snow Buds stamp set. That's the snowman, the custom face, the arm, and the hat, and the sentiment. And we're going to stamp this. I'm using the Hero Arts embossing and watermark ink. And then heat embossing with white embossing powder. Because as I mentioned, this is I want it to be cute. And you know, the recipient can keep it if they want to, but I also want it to be something that I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, you threw that away? And so I usually make these really simple. I've done some more extravagant ones in the past, but I've kind of decided over time that I try to find ways to make quick and easy but cute little gift tags. So this is where you can actually write, to and from. And I will show you that in a minute because we are going to stamp to and from on the back using the Essentials by Ellen Ginger House stamp set. It has an awesome big bold to from stamp in there that's going to work great on the back of these tags. So we'll be stamping and embossing on both sides. So that's the snowman version. That's going to go on our snowman gift tag. For our final two tags, we are going to be using images from the Essentials, or phrases, pardon me, from the Essentials by Ellen Snow Days stamp set. So we are going to be using Peace, Love, and Snow Days. That's going to be for our Nordic village because we got that snowy snow falling in our Nordic village. I think that would be perfect. We're going to stamp that with our clear embossing ink, heat emboss with white embossing powder. Also from the Snow Days stamp set, we're going to use the phrase, "Oh, what fun." And that's just for our final joy ornament, the red and green ornament there. And then all three of them are going to have to and from on the back. So we'll get to that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and do our "Oh, what fun." And on the back of each, we're going to take now from that Ginger House stamp set to and from. Look how nice and bold that is. It's cute little outline letters. If you wanted to, you could color them in. I keep mine super simple, as I mentioned, because this is the part that's meant to be tossed. I hope that the recipient isn't going to toss their felt ornament. It's the part of the gift. But this is the actual kind of gift tag. This is where you can put, to whoever it goes to, and you can put from yourself on there. And these literally take minutes to make, and they're fantastic to customize your felt ornaments. And I'm just doing the same. I think I put that in the wrong way. I did. Woo, good thing I caught that. And we're just going to stamp that and emboss. Same thing for all three. These are really useful to do kind of assembly line style. Especially consider maybe you're not doing 3 different felt ornaments. You pick one design and you do a bunch of them. You can do all of your little gift tags then exactly the same. I just wanted to share several different ornament ideas in this video and hopefully jumpstart your creativity in making some felt ornaments this holiday season. We're going to thread on. Remember, we left our twine unknotted. We're going to thread our little paper tag on, then we're going to knot the ends, trim those up nice and even, and that is going to finish off our tags. And then we'll just take a look at all 3 felt ornaments one more time. We have all of these fun little ornaments. These are nice, big shaped. Here's our snowman ornament, snowman tag, our Nordic village ornament with a cute little Peace, Love, and Snow Days tag, and our joy ornament with "Oh, what fun." Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this video featuring felt ornaments using the brand new Essentials by Ellen So Cute ornament and So Cute snowman designer dies, as well as many other Essentials by Ellen stamps and dies. Please be sure to visit the Ellen Hutson blog for more information on this project. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.